Microsoft and Activision are going to have to be careful because now there is a little bit more oversight into the upcoming merger. Now, this time it's emerging out of the UK, where essentially there are broad enough concerns about what this could mean for some aspects of the market going forward, and the extreme position of power that this merger going through would actually put Microsoft in. Phil Spencer has responded to this, Bobby Kotick has responded to this, but to begin, we've got to talk about what Saoirse O'Carroll has said, who is the Senior Director of Mergers at the CMA, which is like a UK government body. So, we are concerned that Microsoft could use its control over popular games like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft post-merger to harm rivals, and they actually specifically call out the cloud gaming and the big subscription service space, where obviously we're seeing the new PS Plus and Game Pass battle it out, right? You know, every month, what free games are they going to fight with each other, to get our attention? Okay, so to jump to the findings. Now, these are the findings of Phase 1. Phase 1 is basically just more broad, okay? So if those more broad criteria are met, then they go into Phase 2, and that is more detailed. So basically, this was all them trying to establish whether there's a realistic possibility of a substantial lowering of competition in the market, with a focus on the new emerging parts of the market like the subscription services and cloud tech. So they've decided that there are two main theories of harm, as they put it. The first one, which is very obvious to all of us, is withholding or degrading Activision-Blizzard King's content, like say Call of Duty, on competing platforms, right? And the other one is them leveraging the broader ecosystem together with Activision-Blizzard King's catalog to strengthen network effects, raise barriers to entry, and ultimately foreclose rivals in the cloud gaming space. Now, that they're even saying network effect there is quite interesting.
Yeah, it seems to me like the CMA have a lot kind of going for them in terms of how they're thinking, right? Because a lot of the analysis and stuff that we've seen from outside the actual game industry itself on this has been very kind of what's going to happen immediately. What are the immediate impacts of, they're going to take away Call of Duty. That's pretty bad, I guess. But now we're getting to see the CMA start to go, well, what about the future? What about, the next couple of years? What about the next 10 years? What about the next 20 years? What is going to be the knock-on effects, the kind of domino that's kicked over by this merger happening? And that's stuff I think people haven't thought about too much, because obviously there's big drama in the now and people care about the next 5 years, but them talking about like foreclosing future rivals, thinking about the cloud, thinking about multi-game subscription services. And that's pretty important now that you see that, because a little bit ago you could have said, oh sure, it's fine. Microsoft are like leading in that market. They're the only one with a big subscription service. It's fine. But then you look at Sony's PS Plus and you see, well, that's actually a pretty good competitor. Yeah. Overall, sure, Game Pass has a lot of advantages being on PC and having like the better job with indies and stuff so far. But still, like, they're now direct competitors in that market. And you can kind of see, well, I mean, what if someone else wants to come in? And obviously this is going to happen in any market where there's established players. But it's like there's no room for a mover or shaker at the minute. Never mind if Microsoft just go, we've got Call of Duty on Game Pass. You literally cannot win. I'm sorry. It is impossible to win outside of a niche, which,
oh, hey, we're Google. Here's Stadia. We're going to compete. It'll work, honest.
Yeah, that's the thing where, like, they're aware that this is the stuff that you have to nip this stuff in the bud years before it happens. And I think that's interesting because I would have expected the US to be looking into this specifically because of what happened with Facebook and stuff. Because that's the stuff of, well, how do you take down a corporation once they all are already so rich and so powerful that like the government struggles with them? And this is like a core theme in like corporatism, sci-fi, and dystopia, stuff like that. Where it's like, I think the CMA are going, what happens in 20 years? What happens in 30 years? Well, we need to stop this before it's too big to ever unravel or ever undo. I think that's a very, very interesting problem for Microsoft to deal with, because you can immediately see, well, you made Starfield exclusive.
That's it, yeah. Like, they go to the immediate, tangible examples of this, because Starfield, and they point out that, like, otherwise Starfield would have been out everywhere. Now Starfield, next Elder Scrolls game, those are going to, effectively be a Microsoft exclusive. So they are rightly thinking about Call of Duty and wondering, right? So they are arguing that with Call of Duty, the impact would be even greater than the stated plan with Starfield and the new Elder Scrolls being Xbox exclusive, because they know that for so many people, like, they want to play basically the new Skyrim on their console. Yep. One of them will do that, the other one won't. Okay, they know where they're going to go. And because that's going from multi-platform to, I mean, still multi-platform, but just not Sony's platform, that undoubtedly does impact the market. And I have to imagine that will have changed the purchase decision of quite a few people, right? That's like, for many, a 2,000-hour game. At that stage, you're going to go wherever that game is. So they consider the Call of Duty is sufficiently important that losing access to it, or losing access on competitive terms, which I think it's interesting there, that could significantly impact Sony's revenues and user base. And they say that even though they acknowledge that Sony is currently ahead. So they think then that the merger, therefore, could significantly weaken Microsoft's closest rival, to the detriment of overall competition in console gaming.
Yep. And here's another thing to think about when it comes to the Starfield stuff, the Call of Duty stuff. That's like, I hope they're thinking of this, but the recent news of the PlayStation 5 going up in price is interesting, because you go, well, okay, well, why are Sony saying that's going up in price? Well, they're passing the cost to the consumer of the increased price of the supply chain for, you know, all the bits they need to make the console. All that stuff's gone up in price because of basically, you know, world economic crisis. Obviously, price is going to go up. The Xbox hasn't gone up in price. Obviously, the Switch hasn't gone up either. But you go, well, okay, then why does the closest competitor, the Xbox Series X, not need to go up in price? And then you start to think, well, Microsoft have bigger coffers. Microsoft can go, well, we can eat that cost. We can eat that cost and keep it better for consumers.
Yeah.
And that's like one factor. So you add that factor to Starfield, suddenly you look, well, okay, well, there's now a substantial price difference enabled by the size of this company. There is a unique IP difference that they acquired through a merger of this exact same type. And now, you know, you look at maybe not after this Christmas, maybe like another like 6 months or a year or so, especially because Starfield's not out till like next year. But like, say if Starfield launched this November, you would almost see it immediately. You'd almost see the, oh shit, look at the market share. It's been shifted by like single digit percentage, probably 1, 2, 3% of Starfield, and the fact that the Series X and the Series S are cheaper by comparison now substantially. And then you kind of go, okay, well, track that forward 5 years. Supply prices go up, Sony have to bump the PS5 again. Now Call of Duty is, you know, it looks better on Xbox anyway because they have more money, and now they just kind of go, well, we have the market share advantage. We're not going to do too much damage because everyone's playing Call of Duty on Xbox anyway. Let's put the nail in Sony's coffin. And there's all these like multi-factor things where you can kind of argue, okay, well, that's just the market working. Of course, the person who's more efficient with their money, say Microsoft, are going to win. But then you go, well, that's not because it's Xbox winning. That's because it's Microsoft winning. And that's Microsoft, the $1 billion of just money sitting. They can do whatever they want with because they've made all of their money based on market monopolies and control before.
Yeah,
with
so
Windows.
Sony don't have like a humongous enterprise software business backing up what they're doing.
Yeah. And historically, Sony have never, well, I think maybe, not that I could remember anyway, I don't think they've ever been in the European courts for monopolistic behavior in any market.
Don't believe so.
Whereas Microsoft have been numerous times. And it's like, what are you doing? Are you gonna do the same thing you've always done, but over here?
Yeah.
And it's interesting that this is now a more, almost like a more prescient problem now that the economic things have kind of switched since we last talked about this. And now Microsoft's money clearly looks more important.
Yeah. So to go on to what the CMA are saying, they say that as this multi-game subscription market is in its infancy, that means the effect of the merger would be to tip or significantly increase concentration in the market in Microsoft's favor. So it's not just that it's powerful, it's that we're very early on, so any slight shift now, as time goes on and growth happens, will be greatly magnified. So ultimately, they believe that cloud gaming services and that kind of thing will be uniquely impacted By the merger, they're talking about how for Microsoft, they've already got the cloud infrastructure. They have the Windows functionality that means no fees or additional platform support costs because they're fully vertically integrated. And of course, the existing Xbox ecosystem as well, right? So they're saying that then by leveraging the Activision-Blizzard King, library of content and their massive ecosystem, that they would have unparalleled advantage over current and potential cloud gaming service providers. So it's an interesting one. Like Sony have got PS Now. I suppose they've like had PS Now for. I know it's not called that anymore. But I suppose their point just is that xCloud, which I guess it's also not called that anymore either, but that it is larger than Microsoft or just stronger in the space.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If you think about the minute, Sony's never took off. They were a little bit early and a little bit heavy-handed with it. And they also suffered from basically streaming PS3 games mostly. But that was like the Gaikai stuff that kind of was for it, and that was there. But you see it all the time where you see versions of influential products and like, this is clearly going to work, but it doesn't work yet because there's just something isn't quite set up right for it. But then Microsoft come along and they're like, oh yeah, we've got all the infrastructure to make this. And not just in the way like Sony go, hey, we've got some server farms all over the place. Microsoft get to go, oh yeah, we've been doing this as your thing for years. We actually have the ability to deliver like 20 milliseconds of latency video feed to anywhere in the world. Almost in the same way Google were like, we're Google, we can make Stadia work. But Microsoft actually went and did it because the Xbox cloud gaming stuff is fantastic. It is. I haven't done a whole bunch of experimenting with a bunch of it, but from like the last time I played, I'm like, this is easily the best in the market. This is easily the best in the market, and now they're getting access to one of the most popular games in the market to combine it with. And then you go, well, is that just vertically integrating the entire chain? And is that actually fair? Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to, well, how do you build something that matches Xbox cloud gaming? You don't. You don't just go, like, unless you manage to, I don't know, kidnap all of the venture capital people in the world at once and manage to get like a couple trillion out of them, you don't just go and build Azure. You don't just go and build. I would just build a network of like really hyper efficient and powerful server farms all over the world with all of the software to have low latency streaming video.
Just build another AWS. It's easy, bro.
Yeah, easy. That's the thing. It's like even that is like AWS and Google and Microsoft. Those are the three major players in cloud because they have the stuff there, but they struggle on the other side of it. Like the basically the last dash of getting a game people want to play is their problem, and now they're trying to solve the problem. And this is where the CMA are going to come into it. They're not solving the problem by creating the game. They're just going, oh, we'll buy that. We'll buy. Oh yeah, money. That's all we need. Just buy you. Sweet, no problem. Sorted. And from that cloud gaming perspective, that is literally just we'll just buy the whole market. Easy. No worries.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, it's like you're a drugs company. You acquire like rights to a drug and then you fiddle with it.
That's never happened before.
No, never happened at all. Ever.
Don't look at America at all.
So basically this would mean that, unless you kidnap all the VC money, you just cannot win by default. So that's the sort of thing they're worried about. As for what's next here then, well, they've got till the 8th of September to respond. If they can satisfactorily answer questions, they will likely allow this deal to progress. In my head, really, there's no risk of a PlayStation 5 owner not being able to play Call of Duty or not being able to play Warzone. I don't think there's a risk of that.
Not a chance.
However, some things could appear over... the idea like Microsoft can give Call of Duty preferential treatment on their own platform by having it be day and date, which is then going to mean that for many people and how they would engage in a Call of Duty game, it makes sense to get it on Xbox by default.
Yeah.
And it could be, if they did pull the exclusive thing, they know they can't get away with it right now, but because Sony are trying to make multiple different live service shooters, right? They've had lots of teams, including teams of ex-Call of Duty developers working on this. I think Microsoft are probably hoping that Sony come out with their own shooter game in this market so that they then, when it comes to PlayStation 6 time, can say, hey, look, Sony have got their own first-party, sort of shooter, whatever, like Call of Duty. So we now feel it's okay for Call of Duty to be a Microsoft exclusive. I think that is the button that, like, if they can push that button, they absolutely will. Because they can just say, hey, Sony's already got a few of these that they own themselves. This is our one. We funded it. We are going to make it exclusive now.
Yeah, that's the fun thing, right? Because you look and go, well, Phil said they wouldn't. They would never do that. And you immediately go, well, no, they did it with Starfield. Why did it with Starfield? Because they could get away with it. They said they'd do it for the Elder Scrolls, but Elder Scrolls 6 is a long way away. If they worked on Elder Scrolls 6 before Starfield, I don't think they'd have done it right away, because obviously everyone knows Skyrim, everyone knows the Elder Scrolls, but Starfield's a new IP, there's a risk there. Having that exclusive isn't exactly going to change the world, but I mean, obviously it will, but you know, you could argue that it wouldn't. But in Elder Scrolls 6, an example, would have the same weight as Call of Duty or close enough to it, so they probably wouldn't do it because they wouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah.
And it is a case of, as much as Phil Spencer puts on a very friendly face, and obviously like a lot of the principles they follow are really genuinely good for consumers, their ultimate goal as Xbox, as Microsoft, is complete domination of the market within legal bounds, because they don't want to overstep that.
Yeah, you want to
too
be
hard.
as much of a monopoly as you can get away with.
Yeah.
Totally. And
yeah.
we may even say this is all good with Phil, but one of the things we've even discussed decently recently is that Phil has been talking about Succession.
Yeah, not the TV show, but he's trying to groom a successor for someone to follow him because he's been in the business a long time. So all it takes is the next person to go, oh yeah, maybe consumers could be charged a little bit more for this. Maybe we should jump these prices up. Maybe we shouldn't give that away for free. Maybe we should start bullying Steam because of so much kind of leverage over the PC market. Now that we've got Game Pass on PC and Xbox on PC, maybe we'll try to steal some of their market back. And that's all stuff that could happen, and that's hopefully what these, like, the CMA people are looking out for. Like, no, we can't give them an inch. They will take a mile.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They will be waiting. They will just be, like you said, hovering over that button for Call of Duty exclusive, just waiting for it to be, I guess, legally acceptable to go.
Yep.
It's like the same with the whole fact that Sony are doing the PS Plus stuff is like, it's almost giving more ammo to Microsoft, because if they didn't have the PS Plus, it was a like-for-like subscription service, then people looking at this merger would go, so you're the only viable subscription service in the market and you're trying to buy more? That's a bit much.
And your competitors 2 games a month and you're access to 150 plus? This doesn't look fair.
Yeah.
Microsoft are actually damn lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, they're lucky enough that Sony have actually released PlayStation, the new PS Plus, and that it is actually really good.
Yeah,
they're lucky that's happened, because if that didn't happen, then yeah, they would be more monopolistic in this space.
Honestly, the correct play from PlayStation here might be to shutter all plans, keep them so completely quiet, and not have announced all of their different studios going, oh, we're just almost like, what's the meme people go, I was like, I'm just a little guy, don't hit me, that kind of thing of, don't let them hit us, please, you wouldn't hit a guy wearing glasses, would you? That kind of vibe. Sony should be pretending to be small so that Microsoft aren't allowed to bully them into the dirt, which they probably will be, because based on Phil's response, based on Bobby's response, which we'll get into, I'm sure they'll be allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah, so let's go into Bobby's response first, right? Yeah. So he said, with a number of government approvals required, we still believe the deal is most likely to close in Microsoft's fiscal year ending June of next year. We're fortunate to have already received approvals from a couple of countries, and the process of all the regulators is generally moving along as we expected. So he's trying to frame this as, hey, it's a phase 1 investigation, you know, it's not a phase 2 or a phase 3 or anything. This is all par for the course, that's fine. Probably thinking, hey, come on, this ain't a Nvidia acquiring ARM situation. Which, of course, Nvidia acquiring ARM was blocked for, anti-competitive reasons, which I think for sure would have been a knock to Nvidia. Because, if you're not aware, owning ARM is pretty big business.
Sure it is.
Beginning in September, I'm going to initiate town halls to keep everyone informed of our continuing progress. Now, they were evidently ready from a public relations perspective, because as this stuff happened, a blog post from Phil Spencer did appear. It was not subtle whatsoever, and it was very clearly responding to the CMA's concerns. They're essentially arguing that console choice was less relevant than ever in a market rapidly shifting towards mobile being the biggest demographic. So this is the sort of thing where you're going to see them just kind of bend themselves into funny shapes.
It is full-on judo, really.
Yeah.
It is full-on, financial fiscal market judo they play, where they go, well, console's big, but it's mobile that we're really after. And everyone goes, you know what, Phil? That's a good point. Mobile's so big, we'll just let you have console absolute domination over it all. That's fine. That's only a couple of billion as opposed to the trillions in mobile. Work away, sir.
And let's not think about...
Sorry we even bothered you.
Let's not think about how you're uniquely well positioned in this future market that you're trying to say is the competitive space.
Which you definitely haven't. Literally exactly said that not that long ago about Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah, and hey, I can at least say, and funny enough, there's actually a PlayStation branded Backbone now, but using my Backbone controller, I booted up Halo Infinite, and it's the only time I've got a Twitter interaction with Mike Ybarra, where it was very nice, very pleasant, and tell you what, playing Halo Infinite on this phone, using the Backbone, it actually felt like I had some hyper powerful, demon magic handheld console. So, to some of what Phil is saying, like, definitely depends on your Wi-Fi, etc. But there is a lot of truth in it. I was highly skeptical, and then I found myself playing a Twitch first-person shooter on my phone with a gamepad, actually having fun. I know you probably think I'm some crazy huckster for saying that. No, genuinely, it did surprise me. So, there is something to this being the big new space, but I would definitely contend that Microsoft is stronger in that big new space than Sony is. So, they've confirmed that, Activision titles like Overwatch, Diablo, and Call of Duty will be in Game Pass when the deal goes through. Now, that, of course... the way, like, Microsoft got in trouble because of, like, the bundling of Internet Explorer?
Yes.
And now, where, you could always install another browser if you wanted to. This, I'm not saying this is the same thing. It is a bit apples to oranges, but maybe some of the regulators will be thinking about how, for many consumers, it's going to be... Let's just say Microsoft were to adapt the modern PlayStation style of pricing, which we'll talk about soon, for the new Call of Duty. But it's free day and date on free on Game Pass. It's definitely going to, the grass may look a lot greener in their sight to the average consumer, and that's the sort of thing that they will be worrying about. But what Phil has said, though, is in doing so, we will pursue a principled path. We've heard this deal might take franchises like Call of Duty away from places where people currently play them. Go on, Phil, say where it is. That's why, as we said before, we are committed to making the same version of Call of Duty available on PlayStation on the same day the game launches elsewhere. Asterisks, but it will be a far, 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 far better deal on our side of the fence. We'll also continue to enable people to play with each other across platforms and across devices, which of course is good. We know players benefit from this approach because we've done it with Minecraft, which continues to be available on multiple platforms and has expanded to even more since Mojang joined Microsoft in 2014. Now, what's interesting there is, they've done that with Minecraft, but that's not what they're doing with their more recent acquisition with Bethesda, as you pointed out. As we extend our gaming storefront across new devices and platforms, we will make sure that we do in a manner that protects the ability of developers to choose how to distribute their games. So, fairly interesting. I'd say that there is a key distinction, though, that's being lost on them. I mean, they obviously know it, but they're not saying it, and that is that pulling a single game from sale is very different to acquiring something and then no longer putting new entries in that thing.
Yeah.
Onto another console, and ultimately, what I said at the top of the show, if the PS6 is looking real strong and Sony have a first-party shooter, they'll feel perhaps that they can get away with hitting the Starfield button for Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, they have no reason to hesitate in doing that whatsoever, as long as like, this is the only fear they have. That's the one thing to remember. Even though, he says we'll pursue a principled path. As much as I would love to believe that, in business there are no principles. The principle is make money as much as possible. And, we've seen that's how the entire game industry operates. And the only time they ever don't do that is, especially for the bigger companies that are like, have loads of shareholders or, publicly traded, the only time they don't do that is when doing that would cause enough backlash for them to have a notable hit. And we see that where we see some companies will be a little bit more afraid of that than others. But clearly, Microsoft and they're merging with Activision, who historically haven't given one single shit about what anyone thinks of them, outside of just how do we make the most money out of this right now at this time. What's that? We'll cancel all the games we love just to put more people on Call of Duty because it's a little bit sick. Sure, let's go for it. So I mean, that's not going to change. It's just going to be that's now going to make money for Xbox instead.
Yeah.
So they have no reason to stop it.
I'm going to ask you to teleport 10 years into the future. And I want you to think 10 years to the past as well. So 10 years in the past, what was my internet like? It was maybe in a city, 100 down. Not that much up. Not great. Now, I get 600 to 700 down at my apartment. And I get about 20 ms ping. There's a lot of people now who are getting gigabit, gigabit to the home. In 10 years, unless it's a rural area, gigabit will be standard. If we are all on, I know there's millimeter wave 5G, which is the one, I think Marquez did a really good video highlighting, how good it is, but then how, you move a few feet behind a wall and then it falls over. But eventually, we'll get to the stage where I'll be able to get maybe 50 to 100 on my phone with low ping, likely on an unlimited data plan. Because I know in America you guys don't seem to get unlimited plans, or maybe my info there is just 10 years out of date.
I think so.
But for me, getting unlimited plan on this is about like 30 quid a month. I can get 300 gigabytes. It is with like a bundle deal thing, but I can get 300 gigabytes for like 20 quid a month, I think. A SIM-only contract on my phone. So I want you to teleport forward to this new time. I forget what the newest version of Wi-Fi is, but imagine the one after that. Okay.
6, is it?
Yeah. Now, based on the rumors, Microsoft are going to be developing like a dongle that you can just plug into your TV as like a Game Pass game streaming dongle. So you don't even need to get the Series S. So this dongle's maybe going to cost $30 and probably have Game Pass bundled with it. So what Microsoft want, and because remember, the CMA here, they are talking about the future market. So when they see this, they're thinking, okay, so it's 10 years in the future. Microsoft has a dominant position in game streaming. The new Call of Duty comes out. You can play it for free on your phone, on your TV, only needing a small dongle, on whatever thing, on your PC, on absolutely everything. So the FPS market, they have that locked down. Oh, they've acquired Bethesda. The Elder Scrolls 6 re-release on the new generation of consoles. Oh, you can't get that in the other place. Maybe Sony is not as developed in these areas. And additionally, because Microsoft is such a humongous corp, I mean, if you should take a look at the growth, actually, I'll just bring it up here. Slack versus MS Teams users. Because, of course, Microsoft is, Microsoft is really big.
Yeah, and then, because I remember around the time the Teams was starting to kick off, they just kind of silently fired it onto Windows PCs, and then it would, say it would basically pop up, just load, automatically go, you ever use Teams?
Take a look at this graph, right? I mean, there. I think this is the more recent stuff. So Slack is hitting up there to 12 million DAUs, and this is important because enterprise software is, it is one of the core backbones of Microsoft's business. So Microsoft Teams, their version of Slack that has a bunch of other integrations, it's up there at 75 million, right? So worldwide, more businesses than not are going to be doing Microsoft Teams. I know a bunch of people would probably rather use Slack plus G Suite, but a lot are just going to be using Teams and then all of Microsoft's offerings. Now, while Sony does have, say, its division that does televisions and stuff like that, a lot of the other, divisions of Sony traditionally have struggled, while PlayStation has been a real important shining star for the company.
Yeah.
So, not only is gaming extremely strong for Microsoft, they have this complete domination. I mean, remember people were even saying, what if Microsoft acquired Discord?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? So I think you can see how in 10 years, where the barriers to entry are low and where Microsoft can focus on growth over profitability in a way that Sony can't. And if you take the small differences now and then money and time magnify those differences, I suppose that is what the regulators ultimately are going to be worried about here.
And rightfully so. rightfully so. It's hard to not see a future where Microsoft get obscenely powerful as a result of this.
Yeah.
In the particular gaming space, especially when you think of how much they keep. Almost in the same way that Blizzard did, where they're like, yeah, our games are coming, don't worry, they're all really good, they're fine, they'll be out soon, we promise. And obviously Microsoft are still getting kind of laughed at in a lot of ways because none of their big, like, next-gen games have shown up yet.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Halo Infinite, literally, like, as we're recording this, announced that the 6-month season that was already too long is now going to be 10-month long season.
Dude, what? Don't break this to me.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that the only place I can get a viable John Halo fix is in bloody Fortnite now?
Yeah, the season's been extended, they're delayed. Forge is still on time, but generally speaking...
Bro, okay, Forge looks...
Yeah, it looks wonderful.
Forge looks goddamn incredible.
I saw someone making Toy Story in it.
As you do.
But the thing is, people have been like laughing at them for like that, and obviously it's hard to take them seriously. But they're almost like the nerdy kid in the sense, for a weird analogy. They're the nerdy kid who's wearing a baggy hoodie but secretly working out all the time. So one day he takes the hoodie off and everyone goes, "Wait, what the fuck? When did that happen?" So that's one of the things people are need to consider when it comes to, obviously Sony are kind of running rings around them with the high value AAA games at the minute. Everyone's going wild over God of War and a little bit over Horizon, over Last of Us Part 1 and stuff. And Xbox don't have an answer, but they will. They hope they will. I mean, with the amount of money they're putting in, they hope they should.
And if just a little number here.
Yeah.
So in terms of revenue, like overall Sony Group revenue was 81.38 billion USD in 2021. Microsoft's number is 168 billion.
Jesus Christ.
So, we are dealing with, similar scale, something like Microsoft for an order of magnitude bigger. They are a good bit bigger, which I think is decently important to this overall thing. And I think as well, Microsoft, look at the team's growth. That they are getting quite a lot of wins. So it's a fascinating situation. Ultimately, I would love to know, what do you think about this in two different ways? Number one, imagine that cloud gaming has acceptable latency, and basically imagine cloud gaming will deliver 100 hertz, low latency, great gameplay experience on 5G/6G, or, whatever on the newest Wi-Fi in a decade's time. What does gaming look like for you then? Like, are they trying to get to some position where in 20 years the data center has replaced the rig? Is that where they want to go? And because the thing then is, if they can get to that position, they own the data center.
Yeah. That's
if you are gaming on a subscription service into a little stick that goes into your TV or into your monitor, and we have 20 years in the future. Imagine what South Korea's internet's going to look like 20 years in the future. It'll be insane. Yeah. Imagine that's what we're dealing with. You don't actually own the box. These are the sorts of look, I'm not trying to spook you into a dystopia, because there's a reality where that eases access, that allows new types of games to exist. But perhaps we wonder, okay, a lot could be gained, but what will be lost in the process, and what will the state of competition in this market look like now that we are seeing such rapid consolidation? It's like anything that people weren't mega interested in consolidating, Embracer just comes and gobbles it up.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. So let us know what you think about this. Know that this could be a bit, look at you fucking nerds talking about M&A in the gaming space. I know, we're actually here to play video games and have fun. But hey, this could impact future you and future me's video gaming. That is important.
And that's the fun thing, where it'll probably impact it more than anyone can imagine if it goes through. But it'll just be, it'll be us being slightly older, but still as grumpy men, just going, we fucking saw this all coming, god damn it. Graying hair, maybe less, but going, we saw this. We knew they would make Call of Duty exclusive. Thankfully, everyone stopped caring about Call of Duty because PlayStation's version's really good, because they got all the Infinity Ward people to do a really good version, hopefully. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
Aye. All right. Let us know. Farewell.